Total Isekai Warfare, aka Reincarnated as an Aristocrat, is now confirmed for Season 3. Season 2, aka Episode 24, just wrapped up today, and it was one of the best episodes of the series to date. And it really flexes by the end just why this deserves as many seasons as they can give us. I think if you're just tuning in randomly being like, what the hell, Season 3, I never even checked it out, go watch it. First season, fantastic. Second season just does Isekai Warfare better than most. And I think there's not one, not two, there's so many moments that are the star of the episode, but that just goes to show just how crazy of an episode this is. You have the Thomas stuff with his sister, you have the Lemire stuff, you have Lupa, you have ours, all these promotions, and how Lord Curran now has 2/3 of the major cities under his control. And goddamn, I want to see this man get to the finish line and where we could go from there. I do have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and thought of this greatness over there exclusively. Now, I know there's always been some skepticism, but especially after last week, I saw a lot of people say, I bet Lord Curran can't be trusted. He's actually bad. I still don't get that impression. I really think, if anything, given last week's episode, it just kind of paints that the two sides that are currently fighting, they have different beliefs and different ideologies of how things should go. But I think, if anything, it just shows that neither one are evil. They're just, two sides of the same coin, but just can't coexist completely peacefully, right? But at the end of the day, there's no denying this man has accomplished a lot because he, like ours, surrounds himself by a lot of talented people. And if anything, the vibe I get from Lord Curran is that if anything were to ever happen to him, I feel like he's making ours his heir apparent, his heir. Like, that's kind of how it feels to me. Let's go in order, though. Actually, I want to talk about the promotions first. The Thomas stuff was amazing, don't get it twisted, but the promotion stuff was so well done. First of which, he has to promote 2 people because he now has 2 large sections of land that now need to be occupied. Essentially like governor roles is how it kind of felt. I love the idea that the first person he picks, Lemire, makes the most sense. Like, as soon as you hear him pick it, you're like, yeah, that's almost like a right-hand man at that point. But the second Lupa, that was a curveball. Now, obviously, it's going to ruffle some feathers, but if anything, it's probably one of the best political plays. It's someone we know he can trust, and I think Kerr knows that as well. But it was an enemy who surrendered to him. By giving him that promotion, it shows not only maybe future people who might surrender, people who have already surrendered, but those in the crowd that he doesn't discriminate. Like, it's not about just being blindly loyal to him from the beginning. If you prove the fact that you're loyal no matter where that comes in, and you're talented, you can be rewarded. Big play there, giving him that promotion. Now, Lemire's was interesting because I wasn't expecting him to actually not feel confident about it, given how he just immediately accepted. But when he has his conversation with ours later, he actually goes over the fact that he's worried about it. And you don't see these types of moments too often, especially in like fantasy shows, whether it's isekai or not, fantasy in general. But the idea of like, it's a scary thing, the promotion, because it's such a massive responsibility in comparison to what was, felt small to him before. He has to leave his home, something that he's had for so long, but now he has all this extra responsibility. But it's not even just that. He's no longer going to be able to be the one to oversee the area that he used to call home. And as he said, had it not been ours who ends up getting his old position, he probably wouldn't be able to accept it, because how could he just leave, the fate of so many people that he's cared for so long under the hands of someone he doesn't know or maybe respect as much? But ours is the only person he could do it to. That entire dynamic and how Curran picked everything is perfect, because initially when there was 2 given out, I'm like, okay, Lemire and ours could make sense, but it felt like too big of a jump for ours. Like, ours is going to continue to climb the ladder, and if anything, if a big death happens, like, he could even end up as the biggest leader. It's entirely possible. But you can't just give some 10-year-old kid at face value Lemire's position or something, right? In terms of like that biggest promotion. I mean, look at the reaction when, ours is given what he was given. People, and I like this, like, I don't think anyone should be infuriated by people saying, why should a child be given our status? Because that's a 10 to 12-year-old looking kid is being given the status of people who have been doing this their entire life and are at like 40 and 50. Reasonable suspicion of, is our leader drunk? But the idea that it's not just simply like, okay, yes, we hear that he has talented retainers. Obviously, he's winning battles because of it. But when everyone's collectively coming in to support him and saying, listen, While true, he has talented retainers, he also inspires. He gives confidence. Without his eyes, without his leadership, these things wouldn't happen. It's not just simply about surrounding himself by talented people. The only reason talented people surrounded by ours is because of the skills he has. While yes, his retainers make it possible to have these victories, without ours being the glue that kept everyone together and his leadership capabilities, we never would have got this far. The writing in that entire promotion scene and everything they handled there was so freaking well done. And I think, normally in an episode, that would be like the big emphasis put into an episode. Like that entire scene was the big final hurrah. But even before all that, you had amazing stuff with brother and sister. So we ultimately avoid catastrophe, but not because of Muriel. In fact, she wouldn't have seen that coming and we all would have died. But Rosal, so he ends up saying, hey, I think there might be bombs. And his way he came up with that is rather than thinking about just what the other enemy might do, considering what people on his own side might do and using that as an advantage. So yes, brother did technically surpass sister in the way that if it was just up to her, yeah, we all would have blown up. But because he didn't think of it as a larger scale than just going up against his sister, that's ultimately why we got the W. And I really appreciate the fact that they went this route of allowing him to have the satisfaction of approval, because that's, deep down what he's been seeking, approval from his big sis. And the idea that because of Ars's appraisal skill now giving more information beyond just surface level stats, he can read things like hides her true feelings and give that push and reconnect brother and sister. Of course, he's not going to join up the same way other characters has. He's a very loyal fighter, and especially to his lord. So unless the lord was to bend his knee, there's no way. But we can still take him prisoner and treat him like a decent human. And I appreciate those types of moments, just everything about it. And here's the thing. You think I should be done? They even gave the wedding ceremony, and it was just such a sweet reunion, and the fact that we get that to tie off season 2. They could have left it here, and while yes, there's still more story, we wouldn't be blue balls the way some shows are blue ballsing us, like Dawn to Dawn or Ranma Half, those shows are dropping cliffhangers and say, go wait for more. This is actually a very satisfying stopping point. But yeah, I am giddy as hell that season 3 is confirmed, because I truly think it is one of the best modern isekais, and it deserves season 3 100%. You let me know your thoughts and feelings, your favorite moment. I don't even think I could pick a favorite moment, but I do really like that conversation with Ars about how he was scared to leave his land to someone else, but can trust it in Ars's hand. I think that was a really good moment, but yeah, your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Roscoe, Zeekster, Refact972, Michael Latham, Dodius Grunt, Sleeping Knight, Valorix, Adam Dundorf, and we also have David Story. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.